All right, dude, put your name in the live chat. We'll get started. I tried doing Kahoot online today, and it just didn't work. So I'm going to have another go at that. I did it in my year 13. If you want to watch the video of that, it's pretty dismal. Put your name in the live chat. I sent out, for once in my life, I was moderately organised, and I sent out all my stuff. Hey, Fazana. Hey, Jacob. Hope you're okay. I actually sent out resources, promptly, which was amazing by my standards. So we're doing trig. Technically, we're meant to do trig and differentiation, quadratics or something like that, polynômes. Good afternoon, sir. It's Rashida. I guess by the fact your name is Rashida. I mean, yeah, I'm joking. It's all good. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope everyone's fine. I mean, I'll do the PSA stuff. I hope everyone's just doing okay in terms of like their health and their mental health. I was doing one-to-ones with my year 13s. Obviously, it's a very different thing for you guys in year 12, but same. You're human just like they are. And a few people were saying a few things which kind of like caught my attention. Hey, good to see all of you. If people are finding it a bit difficult and they're struggling, reach out for help, right? Each one of you have got your own individual chat now. So if you need someone to talk to, I'm here for you. If you prefer to talk to someone else, that's fine too. It doesn't have to be me. It just means, I'm just saying, like, reach out. Don't let it get too much. I know personally, since about Friday, I'm getting really kind of annoyed with this whole situation in that, it's pretty gloomy. We're in week 6 now. I mean, I understand why we need to do it. I'm not saying break any rules. Don't. But please be clear on this. I'm not saying don't break any rules. Not encouraging you to do that at all. What I'm saying is, if you are starting to get stressed out, you are trying to get, frustrated, I think is the way I describe how I'm feeling. Just reach out and have a chat with someone, and I'm here for you. Second thing I was going to say to you is a lot of people are starting to kind of relax on the lockdown. Don't do that. The law's still in place as it stands. So nothing's changed. It won't change, I don't think, till May. I think May the 8th. All right. So just be careful on this. Don't break any rules. Don't get yourself in any kind of trouble. Just abide by the lockdown, and hopefully it'll be gone soon. Okay, cool. That's your public service announcements for today. If you do check your email, I'll send you some work. Have a look at it first of all, and then we'll talk it through. Look at these questions. Which ones of these would cause you difficulty, if any? And then I'll start giving some examples on this. I did promise you that we would do things like Kahoot. Kahoot crashed and burned this morning. As in, like, what happens is the Kahoot is on a 30-second time delay, practically. There were some kids that had really kind of super, super strong Wi-Fi. And it was, like, within about 15 seconds. But it wasn't going anywhere close. I've got to rethink how I'm doing it. Hello, Dante. Remember also that what we're doing in terms of the work feedback. Slam Troubles YouTube, just do your best. That's all I ask. All right, Dante? So when you're handing in work, yeah, you are. So I'm just getting a bunch of messages from Dante. I was hoping this pink would be a better pink than this. It's not a very good pink, but never mind. Question, have I got how to do that? Yeah, we're going to do that together then. What I will say, this is not in any way, not even 1,000,000% of criticism of Rashida, but it's always Rashida. I need you guys to step up and also ask questions. Yeah? And please, Rashida, do not take that the wrong way. As I said to you before, I am super, super happy with how you are in terms of maths. Your maths game has got so much better lately. But everyone should be trying to rise up to that standard. So if you're handing in work, this is what should happen. Yeah? Hey, Dante. Hey, Kausa. You hand it in, it should be marked because you have solutions. So hand it in marked by the end of the day. Yeah? Awesome, good to see you. On Microsoft Teams. I'm going to change this pen. I thought this would be so, different color. I've got a whole bunch of new colors. So on the Microsoft Teams chat. The reason why is what I explained to you before about I'm going to use this as part of your predicted grade. So if I want to predict, let's pick someone I know who's doing well. Mawsome or Dante. Dante's a good example. Dante will predict an A. And they go, okay, why are you giving Dante that? And go, well, look at this chat. He's done every single piece of work I've asked him. It's marked, it's beautiful, Yeah? So that's why. Okay? Now, in terms of, I said there was going to be something about project. No news on that yet, but we're going to have a meeting tomorrow, so I'll be able to tell you much more, hopefully, about the project next week. Okay, cool. So that's that. That's just all the new stuff. Let's do some maths, right? Let's do some maths. So I do apologize about the Kahoot thing. Did try it, and there's a video of me trying it with my year 13s, and it's just a shambles. Right, okay. So let's go with a nice green. Okay. So solving equations in trigonometry was the first request. I remember you've got the worksheet. Solving equations in trig. So you can ask whatever questions you want to see as well. I'm not going to do any of the ones that are given in 4. So I'll make my own one up. I'll do sine theta equals, let's go with root 3 over 2 in the range 0 theta 360. All right. To be able to access these questions, you first need to have the table. Unless you're one of those people. Sarah, I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for asking. It's very kind of you to ask. And I do hope everyone else as well. For those people who came in late, I did one-to-ones with my year 13s, and I'm coming around to do one-to-ones with you as well. That will happen in the next week or 2. And a lot of people, it wasn't a lot of people, there was just enough that I had worried about it, were saying they're starting to get a bit stressed out. Do I mark you when I send in the homework, or do I mark you in now? I mark you in at some point in the lesson. I mean, the only thing I kind of make a fuss about is like if people come in and they write their name and like I'm in, and then I don't hear from them for the entire video after that, that's when I start getting a bit antsy. Do you know what I mean? Unless we've kind of like, you've said, oh, I understand this already, I'm going to go away and do the work, in which case that's fine, that's all right. But there's some people that just kind of, and I don't think there's any in this class, but they were in the further maths this morning actually, which are just going, well, okay, I'm going to sign in because I know he checks the sign-ins. I'm not going to do anything, and then I'll send him work at like midnight. Yeah, so something like Zeron. Zeron says I'm going to go do the work. Fine. There's a respect and trust between me and him that, you know, he's not going to cause. He's going to go and do his work, right? He doesn't need to see anything. That's a fair shot. Dalek, yeah, same thing. That exists, that respect between the two of us. But the thing is, you asked. You see the difference? Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, of course, I'm going to say yes. I'm not going to waste your time. We are going to get to harder topics. Yeah, same to you. And yeah, I mean, you just need to send it before like the end of the day. Okay, so cool. I'm happy with both of you. That's fine. Let's have a look at this. Okay, you need these 3 tables. So make sure you've got hold of them. So it's the sine theta, cos theta, tan theta. And remember, it goes theta 180 minus theta plus or minus 360n. Theta 360 minus theta plus or minus 360 minus n. And finally, theta plus or minus 180n. So if you haven't got those tables, you've forgotten those are tables we use, unless you are someone who uses that that weird thing, what's it called, the cast diagram, all right? So that's comfy. Those are the tables we need. I'm going to rub those tables out in a minute because I need to do it. I need to answer the question that I've got set up. So just copy that down for me now. You'll be using that pretty much for a chunk of it. So what questions have you got? I'm just having a look. So, well, we'll come back to that in a minute, actually. Right, cool. So that's the table. I'm going to give you literally maybe 20 more seconds on this. Ten more seconds. And then I'm going to go through the example with you. I mean, a few people I haven't seen. Disease, have you signed in? I kind of lost it. I was watching something on my screen. I've got like the tablet and I've got the laptop. So excuse me. So I was distracted just for a second. Someone popped up on chat. Okay, cool. Let's just do this now anyway. Okay, so first thing you do is you go, okay, theta equals, remember I told you this was called arc sine root 3 over 2. All right, so if you arc sine root 3 over 2, you can grab a calculator and find out. Pretty sure that guy would be 60, but I'm just going to check anyways because you know you should do that. Unless you know I'm off by heart. I do. Yep, 60 it is. All right. But is that your final answer? Well, yes, it's one of them. But then you go back to your table and go, okay, sine goes theta, 180 minus theta, so 120 is a valid solution there. Okay, and that's fine. Okay. Now, things to remember, especially about sine, is this case ambiguous sign. I don't know, the spelling I always get wrong with this, so don't judge me on that. Ambiguous sign. And that really comes up with diagram questions. And an example of a diagram question where it might come up is this guy here on number 1. I'm not going to do number 1. But if you use the sine rule on that, you get a value for theta. but it could be that value, or it could be 180 minus that value. So just be aware of ambiguous sign, because when you're doing a question with triangles in it, obviously the maximum angle you can have as a triangle is 180, well, 170 point. So you know what I mean, right? And the problem with that is that there's two possible answers between 0 and 180, and you have to do a little bit of thinking about which one's which. Okay? Got to think about which one's which there. It's okay to do the worksheet, because I have to use my phone. Okay, anything I'm going to ask anyone else who leaves, and I'll say to everybody, can you flick through it first and go, is there anything on here I can't do? That's what you need to see, all right? Because that's the way you're going to get support. So I would say, by all means, drop out of it if you don't need anything for this one, all right? And it's good that we're so strong on trig, but you should only drop out if there is no question you cannot do on this. If you can do all of it, bye. Yeah? That's fine. That's fine. But like, I need to kind of support the ones that can't do this. Yeah, I mean, Dante, I would expect that. Yeah? But I'm not expecting that every single person is perfect at trig. If they are, that's brilliant. We're in a good place. That means I can go back to watching. Yes, of course. That goes without saying. And go back to watching North Korean cartoons is what I was doing. They are very funny, I must say. Well worth your time. Can you do first one? Yes, of course I can. I shall do that for you. So we've got 6, the first one. I don't mind doing that one actually. Normally I just say, well, fine, you know, I'll do a similar. I'll do that one because there's nothing there. That notation might be is that the notation that put you off, because that's just root 3 over 2. So that seemed a bit easier. I'm going to do it anyways, don't worry. So don't feel like this is me trying to weasel out of doing an example. So I'm going to do the example. But what they've done is just that it's minus a half times root 3. I reckon just so like it won't get messed up in the typing. All right. Okay, cool. So first of all, we notice that's 2x and that's x. So this must multiply. So that goes 2x 720. Yeah. So double the domain. And then after that, it's pretty simple. We got this guy. First things first, let's just do that in a calculator. What is arcsine? And I expect it actually give you a negative value. If I remember correctly, if you do it in your calculator, you'll get minus 60, won't you? All right? Because it tries to keep it acute, whether it's positive or negative. Please check that. I suspect it's the same thing. So my guess is the calculated value, I'm not saying the calculator's right, well, that happens. But the first value it'll give you is minus 60. Yeah, it does. And minus 60 is not anywhere in there. So minus 60 is dead. All right. So you can do 180 minus that to get positive 240. Yeah, I mean, 240 is definitely 1 from there. Plus or minus 360 would have a 300. That would work for you. Then you'd get a 600, 660. Anyone want to challenge me on those? So that's the values you're getting on that. Now, is that your final solution? I mean, those final solutions are horrible phrasing, but you know, 2x to 240 is 120. That implies that x is 120. So the x has gone the wrong way around there. And so on and so forth. So if the next one is 300, x being 150 would give you a valid answer there. All right, so x being 150. And then so on and so forth. 600 is 300. So that's another. So x could also be 300, and it could also be 330. So those are your 4 solutions, all inside the bounds. All right. Anyone else need any particular questions? Well, this is literally going to be the world's shortest thing. What I'll do is I'll pick a hard. It's not even I'll pick a hard. It's like I'm following a scheme of work, and it's bloody, you know, it's a bit disappointing. These topics are a bit easy, but it will get harder, hopefully. And even if it doesn't, after like a week or 2, if I can finish a lot of these topics quickly, I'll teach you some second year stuff. Because I don't want you kind of coming, every lesson he's dragging us to this YouTube channel and we're not bloody learning anything. Well, yeah, I'm not happy about that either. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to make sure you are learning something. So pop in the chat box what you want to see. If you are done, you are done. Pop in the chat box that you are done so I don't have to worry about you. And also that's helpful when I watch back to do the register. So I know Dowd has, I know Dante was there, and I know all the people that I spoke to. So if you've been silently watching, can you pop your name in the chat box so I know to mark you in? So what's the equation to find tan in terms of cos and sine? Very good question. It's just this guy. Sine x over cos x. And while I'm here, sine squared plus cos squared equals 1. Just a quick reminder of that. Do you guys all remember the proofs? They're relatively simple proofs. But yeah, those two formulas you can use. No problem. See, you're an example of someone who has good Wi-Fi. Because they're students, and it's not necessarily, I don't know what it is. Take it, Demetrius. But like, they're literally on a 20 or 30-second delay. Tell you what, next lesson, whatever happens, we'll try Kahoot, right? Even like if it lags for 30 seconds. Let's just see. So I want to see, that's my way of finding out whose Wi-Fi is. Is it my fault? Is it your fault? I don't know whose fault the YouTube is. The fact that when you're YouTubing it, it doesn't work so well. I don't know. My wife was definitely. I mean, it might not actually be anything to do with you, to be honest. Because I had literally, I was watching. I had two screens because obviously, when you're a YouTuber, that helps. And the computer screen was fine. Literally, it was on it to the second. But my iPad, Jesus, I mean, it was up to 20 to 30 seconds. Right, well, Pablo Castilla. Was he a footballer? Castilla I think Castilla was, but I'm not sure Pablo Castilla was. Anyways, anyone got any further questions? If not, just bang out your work as normal. Can I give you a data now? It's brilliant. That's super. Just keep an eye out for like funding opportunities. Who got money? I'm not sure if any. I'm not going to bait out if anyone did get funding with it. I think funding did happen for someone in our class, up to £200, and it's worthwhile. So it's not on the offer at the moment. But when I say it, do get back to me quite quickly. Because I know someone from my core maths got it. I know someone from my further maths got it. And I was shocked. I think they're just giving out money the way they were going. I mean, I was like, do you think they can get the money? And it came back, email said, yeah, approved. You're like, comfy. I think the government's putting a bit of money about. So if you're like Wi-Fi, if your laptop's weak or whatever, if you haven't got a laptop and you're watching this on a phone, for example, that might be a one. Ask for the money. Why not? And it doesn't really matter whether you're on bursary or not. As far as I'm concerned, because there's people not asking any questions, I'm going to shut this down in a couple of minutes. If you need help, ask for it, right? Look at the work now and say, well, okay, I haven't got there yet, but I know I'm going to struggle with this later. Can I ask him now? Because like, I'm happy to stay here for as long as you want. I mean, North Korean cartoons aren't that much fun. But like, it's a bit sad when you're just sitting there waiting for someone to ask you a question and there's no questions coming. Do you know what I mean? So if you look at the stuff and think, well, you know what, I'm not going to get this when I get to this. I'm not ready. You know, you might not be ready to do it right now, but even if you did, you'd struggle. Question 2, I tried doing yesterday. I don't think I'm right. Okay, that's a good shot. Oops. All right, that was my telephone, in case you're wondering. Right, let me just pop that up and have a look. Question 2, let's do it. Let's just do it. I have got solutions for this, and of course I'll email them out for 30 years. No, we might as well do this one together, just for the hell of it. So we've got Chan, and he walks 5 kilometers on a bearing of 140. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start. This is the starting point O. 140 is down here somewhere. Remember, the bearing is from north, and yeah, thank you, 7 as well. I'll definitely do 7. So this is 140. Okay. Then he walks 3 kilometers on a bearing of 25. So he gets to there. That's 5. And let's call that A arbitrarily. Here's your north line again. And he's gone, that's 25. And that's 3. All right. And he wants to know how far is he from his starting point. So this is my diagram. That's what it looks like. I know that this whole thing here. What do I know? Not a lot is the answer to that, to be honest with you. So let's have a little think about that. 5 kilometers a bearing of 140. So he's got that. We don't know what this line is. This is not a right angle, just to be clear, because that's the easiest temptation to make. So we know this is 3. I'm going to keep that as a shorter side now. So I know that's 3. I know that's 5. I want to know that. Do I have any angles? You didn't see it as a triangle. I mean, if you think about where you're going, so where you finish up, that's B, so that's OAB. What do we know? We don't know that's a straight line. Well, we know it's a straight line, but we don't know if it's horizontal. I think it's slightly misleading to draw it as horizontal. So what I'll do is I'll put B here. And then you can see clearly that is a straight line going down a bit. I mean, it's not as clear, still not perfectly clear, but you get the idea, right? So our main problems is we haven't really got much information. There are some ways to do this. One of them involves using vectors, which I'm not going to do. But I'm going to just take a second to think first, and then come back at you on this. I know that's 25 there. I know that's 3 there. Is there any other trick I can use to get me some angles? Well, I know that's a north line there. That's true. I know there's a north line there. So I know that this guy here. No, I can't say much about that. No, this guy here is 140. So, well, my head kind of wants to do just blast it as a vector. But that's a lot of force. I'm not sure that's definitely not what they want me to do. So let me just, instead of just jabbering, think for a second. Got any angles at all? I guess if we know that this guy here is, oh yeah, of course we do. So we know this guy's 140, so we know that's 40, okay? Because it's a C angle, yeah? So basically what I'm saying is if this guy here, from there to there is 140, and this guy here, this is another north line, isn't it? Yeah? Is going up, then this plus this must equal 180. So if that's 140, that must be 40, which means the total angle here is 65, all right? So the total angle 40 plus 25 makes 65. I'm going to just stop it there and ask you, do you understand what I said there? Does that make sense? Who was asking? Number 2, it was Rashida, wasn't it? Yeah, so you see that that's 140 and that's 40 and that's 25. So I'll stop. Do you get it now where that angle came from? We haven't finished the question. It's just like, do you get it so far? Okay, good, brilliant. So now it's just basically an application of the cosine rule. So this guy's little a, so you're going to go a squared equals 5 squared plus 3 squared plus 5, 2bc cos a, so 2 times 5 times 3 cos 65. Okay, and I'll give you what a is. And a is just that distance, right? What bearing should Chang walk back to? Now that's considerably more awkward. What angle is this at? I mean, we know this is 25. We know what else? We know that this guy here is, what else do we know? I mean, well, we know this is 65, that's for sure. We don't know much about this guy other than it's 100. The whole thing from here to there would be 155. But what I want is this line here. Where is this? I guess probably the way I'll do it is use cosine rule again. Yep, 155. Yep, absolutely. Cosine rule to find this guy, because I've got 3 sides now. By the end of part A, I've got 3 sides. And if I've got that angle and I've got that angle, I can work out that angle. All right, that's the way I'd do it. If you want to see that demonstrated, pop that in the chat box for me, and I'll happily do it for you. The only thing I'll ask in return is, can you find out what A is for me? All right. So if you want me to do that, also I remember that someone wants to see second 7, and I'm more than happy to do the second one of 7 as well. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. Just when you start a question, you want to finish it. So Rashida, tell me if you'd like to see part B of that question done. If you would, please give me what A is. All right. Yep, Rashida. 8. Thank you. 6.8. So even if Rashida doesn't want to see it, too bad. Everyone else does. That's comfy. Okay. Well, let me just find this guy. I'm gonna find that guy. Yeah. The reason I'm gonna, well, to be fair, why don't I just find that guy? Sometimes I'm really dumb. All right. You're not allowed to agree with that, but it's true. If I've got that, which one do I want? I'm just thinking, which one do I really, what would make my life better? No, I think actually finding this one is the one. Find this guy, okay? So I've got 3 sides, so I can go cos theta, which is, I'm looking for this guy here, just to be clear. Brilliant. So you got 4.62. What did the other guy get? Someone else said 6.2. Someone said 6. Do you know, I believe, who do I believe there? Oh, that is a question. I'm not sure. Yeah, can I see some working out on my side? Worst case scenario, I'll have to do the bloody thing. I don't want to do the thing. Okay, let me do it. Let me just do it. A squared plus b squared. So it's going to be 25. I mean, if I had to guess, Actually, I can't even, I'm not even going to guess because I might be wrong on this. So 2 times 5 times 3 times cos 140. No, it's not cos 140, it's cos 65. Idiot. And that gives you 21. Really? 21? Quite sure. Answer 4.6. I agree with Rashida for what it's worth. Okay? That's what I got. I'm going to go with, yeah, I'm changing mine to 4.6 to 2 decimals. Yeah? So, yeah, I'm going with Rashida. I actually have solutions. So, in a minute, I'm just going to pull them up and check. But I think that's right. 5 squared plus 3 squared goes to being, what, 34? And then you do minus 2 times. Do you know what I think it is? To check your calculators on radians or degrees and all that stuff, just the little stuff. Do you know what? Before we start chatting nonsense to Omo, can we just check it? Because it'd be very funny if we're both wrong and he's right. It's entirely possible. The world is a very strange place these days. I mean, living in the world of bloody coronavirus. Is it possible that I've got it wrong? Let's find out. Icky. So that's 4.62. A winner is us. Sorry. We're gonna have to claim credit, me and Rashida. It happens. Don't worry. I've done a lot dumber things today. Okay, cool. Fine. We've now got a triangle. Yeah, well, it is minus 2 BC cos A. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I just took that at face value and just believed you then. Here is a triangle just drawn again. Because it was a bit of a mess. This is now, what did we say? It's 4.62. Yep. And that's 5 and that's 3. We want this guy, okay, because we've got parallels running up here and up there. And if I've got this guy, I know that guy. This guy is just going to be 145 minus that. And if I've got this, I've got that. And then it's game over, right? That's the thinking behind it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use cosine rule. Let's call this guy, how does it work? Best if you do it, this guy's A, isn't it? So that's little a, that's little b, that's little c. So cos A equals b squared plus c squared. So, yeah, cos A, don't know why I wrote it out, I'm just being stupid. Cos A is b squared plus c squared, so it's going to be 4.62 squared. Shouldn't be a power. 4.62 squared plus 5 squared minus 3 squared all over 2bc. A squared equals b squared. Wait. A squared equals b squared plus c squared. So b squared, so yeah. I'm just being really dumb. All right, just forgive it. Not cos anything. 2bc just be 2 times 5 times 4.62. So Omo, it makes you feel any better. I made about 15 mistakes in about 40 seconds there. I guess you just work out what cos A is, what is A. And A equals stuff. So when you've got an answer, because I've now pulled up the mark scheme and I'm feeling quite smug, tell me what you think A is, and then I'll finish this question for you. Because we're pretty much already there now. I haven't forgotten, by the way, Olivia, about 7, and I will do some 7. Tell me what you think the angle is. $36. Okay, cool. Let's just go with that. I'll be able to tell you the answer for that. So if we know this is 36, we know that this is 145 minus 36. So was that 109? Am I dumb? Yeah. Remember, what was it? Can I just check what that was in the first place? Where's my question gone? So we know this total angle here is 140. Sorry. So this is 104. So that would be what, 76 there? So this would just be 290 minus 76. 290, sorry, no, 360 minus 76. And that's what, 284. So you're claiming 284. Let's try it. Is it 284 close thereby? Yes, perfect, beautiful, absolutely perfect. What I'm going to do now is just explain that slowly in human. If this is 36, I know this from there to there is 140 because they tell me that in a question, so that's 104. If that's 104, that's 76 because it's a C angle. If that's 76, this angle here is 360 minus 76, which is 284. Game over. All right. So yeah, I mean, I think there's, by the way, the example, the solution in the book is so much more, or the solution I'm going to give you rather is so much more elegant than mine, but that works quite nicely. There's your answer. Okay, so just recap that quickly. If I know this is 36, I know that's 104 because the total angle is 140. If that's 104, that's 76 because these guys have to add up to 180. If this guy's 76, this guy, which will give me the bearing, is 360 minus 76. And that is game over. That's end game for you. All right? I'm going to leave that up there for about 30 seconds. And then I'm going to answer Olivia's question and I'm going to shut up and go away. Next lesson, have 2 screens ready. All right? I'm going to try Kahoot again. I'm going to see whether whose Wi-Fi is this fault this is. I'm just warning you, this probably won't work. It's funny when it does, but you know, we'll give it a go. So yeah, I'm done here on this. I'm going to finish off. I'm going to do, what was it, 7? What 7 did she ask for? Was it the last 7 or the first 7? She wanted the second one. Okay, so second 7. Cool. I'm going to do second 7. I'm going to vanish this now. Do questions. So here we've got 2 sine, and that's a good question. Oh, it's 2 sine theta cos theta plus sine theta equals 0. Now, if you've been reading ahead, which I don't know, you might want to do, you'd know that actually that's a special formula, but you don't need to know that. What I'm going to do is factorize that sine theta, keep it easy, and that's 2 cos theta. And if I factorize, so I can get 1 there, so it'll be fine. Yeah? So that's your formula. Okay? So this factorized is that. So either sine theta equals 0, so you've got to solve that between 0 and 360, or 2 cos theta plus 1 equals 0. And the way you'd solve that between 0 and 360 is rearrange it. Yeah? I'm not going to finish the whole question for you. All I'm going to ask you to do is solve that between 0 and 360, solve that between 0 and 360. You should, I think, get 4 answers. Actually, let me just check for the cos. The cos, no, you'd get 3 answers. 2 from this, 1 from that. Is it 360 inclusive? Yeah. So yeah, for, hold on a minute, sine goes 0. No, you get 3 answers off of this. My apologies, I'm being very stupid because it is inclusive. So you'd get 0, 180, 360. Check this. Do it yourself and check this. And I think you only get 1. No, it's minus a half, actually. Wait, hold on, minus a half. Let me just quickly draw the graph in my head. Down. You should get 2 off that one as well. All right? So pop up the answers. I'm going to check that. There's not a mistake. Again, it's another one of these VJ specials. Make 500 mistakes in about 10 seconds. You're rushing every damn thing. But you're going to get definitely several answers. I think you would get, right in the end, 5. Yeah? Okay? So you should end up with 5 answers. Even though it says 4 marks, it is 5 different answers you can get there. Are you satisfied with that explanation? If no, put something in the chat box. I'll hang around here for about a minute or so, or maybe a couple of minutes. If people want any other questions, pop it in the chat box. I'll wait for you. All right, but that's 7B. Factorizing out to give you an easier job there. And I hope that does make sense to people. Next lesson, we'll try and do something different. Next lesson, we're going to be brave. We're going to go for a Kahoot and see what happens, all right? So that's the Wednesday. And that should be quite good fun, actually, if it works, which it didn't before. Again, you've got about a minute and a half to say something. Of course, my dude, you don't need to say thank you, Jacob. You take care, all right? And as I said to all of you guys, if you need someone, like, just to kind of vent out, I'm here for you. If you prefer talking to other people, that's fine, do, right? But if you're struggling, don't struggle by yourself. You don't need to sit alone. There are some people, like, you might have 1,001 friends. I'm kind of like that, actually. I've got like 1,001 friends. But like the amount of people that I trust to actually talk to are quite small. Do you know what I mean? So reach out to somebody. Because like you can be surrounded by people 24/7 and still feel kind of lonely or stressed. Trust me on that one. So like reach out to people before it gets too bad. And don't take any unnecessary risk. You go bopping around the country. We'll be out of this lockdown in a few weeks, God willing. Well, I've got hopes anyways. I'm going to disappear in about a few seconds, that's it. All right, so any last minute questions, pop it in the chat box. If you're done here, probably best thing to do is log off so I know that people Yeah, Rashida, don't worry about that, my dude. You take care, yeah? And that applies to you as well. I know you're a pretty strong person and all the rest of it. But any one of you, doesn't matter, man, woman, cat, or dog, if you need help, come and talk to me, yeah? Same for you, Omo. Same for you, Fazana, right? Some of you guys might be thinking, nah, I never really spoke to this guy before, so why would I do that? That's fine. Choose to speak to someone else, then also speak to me and realize I'm not a goblin or an ogre. Yeah? I've got bad temper sometimes, but, I'm not hopefully not that scary of a human being. Yeah, same for you, Harley. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you need to reach out to someone, it literally is any student. It's not like people VJ likes. It's not people VJ talks to. It's literally any one of you. Because I don't want anyone, like, suffering at home and they're thinking there's no one there to help them. Because even for me, like, this Friday, this Saturday, this Sunday, I'm starting to get angry. Just because this is not a life. This is a dismal life, you know what I mean? We have to go through it, but I ain't happy. All right, I'll see you guys later, yeah? You take care, yeah? Look after yourselves. Have a good day. Have fun, yeah? All right.